All right, so welcome back to the Inexperienced Development Podcast. Today I have Raja from Charger Games. How you doing, Raja?
Hey everyone, this is Raja from Charger Games. Some of you might know me from Charger Games. I'm doing good. And how are you doing, man?
I'm doing good. You want to just introduce yourself a little bit? Tell my audience a little bit about what you do.
Yeah, sure. So, my name is Raja. I'm from India and I run a YouTube channel named Charger Games. And I have been teaching about game development and programming and stuff for last several years. And I love doing it. And that's what I do.
How did you get into kind of teaching all these tutorials and everything?
Okay, so when I was in college, I used to watch a lot of videos from YouTube. So most of the things that I have learned from videos only. And then I thought that I should make some videos as well. And when I started making videos in the beginning, I just loved it. And somehow I found out that I'm better at teaching than actually implementing the things myself. So I kept doing it, and that's how I progressed actually.
What's the difference in the courses that you sell compared to the YouTube courses that you offer?
Okay, so in YouTube, you will see that most of the series that I do, uh, uh, in the beginning, I created some full game tutorials, but after that, I created videos where I show the introduction to things, or let's say I have a video on learn C sharp in one video or learn C sharp in 15 minutes. So in these videos, I show uh, basics of C sharp or basics of Unity or a specific topic. Okay. Or like how to build an Android game in 1 hour, things like that. But my courses are more structured, which will teach you from beginning to end how to build different projects. Let's say inside a course, I have 5 projects. So you can build 5 different projects step by step. You can also learn C sharp. So I have courses on different topics from which you can learn all these things in a structured way, more structured way.
How long did it take you to build a following like that you would say like how in the beginning of YouTube everyone's like I'm making videos for like 10 people, 20 people, whatever, even 200 people. What at what point did you feel I mean content isn't the word. You're probably content the whole time, but like kind of ecstatic to go make videos?
Yeah. So in the beginning, for 2 3 years, for 2 years, I at that time I didn't think about profit. Actually, I thought that it was really cool. I was in college. I wanted to make videos, and I was learning in college. That was a different topic, but I was learning game development by side, and I was making videos, and I thought it was cool. So I never thought that I would take it as a full time job, or I would take it as a job as well. So at that time, I was just doing it for fun, doing it because I was liking it. Uh, and then uh, over the years, 3 4 years, I got some following, and then I started getting pretty good views on some of my videos, and that's how it all started.
I mean, I guess in a way you can always the thing about the internet is you can always kind of branch out and talk to anyone, so it doesn't really
Yeah, yeah,
matter
yeah, yeah.
where anyone
It's
is.
only because of the internet.
Yeah, exactly. The internet has kind of changed the entire world.
Absolutely. It
When
was never even
Oh yeah.
possible for us to even think that even I would have never thought that I would learn to build games or teach people how to build games and things like that without the internet, because we don't see here locally anyone doing that. So whatever I have learned from YouTube. I have seen other people doing it, and that's how I have learned, and that's how I have somehow also shown. And many people uh, who don't even know me have learned, and they also started making these things. So internet is really awesome.
Right, the impact you literally can make an impact across the entire world with just
Absolutely.
one easy video.
Without even leaving your room, you just need a PC, and that's it.
Have you ever looked into networking with Unity and kind of because there's kind of like a it's open season over there. I mean, yeah, there's some videos, but most of the videos don't really tell you much.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So networking with Unity is pretty complex because a few years ago you had the Unet for Unity, and then they stopped it. Uh, then you have Photon, and there's not very good documentation about that. I can say there's of course there are videos and there are tutorials, but there's not very good documentation from that. Unity has its own unit, which was used for those networking stuff, but then they deprecated it and it gone. So I think There
Well,
should be more services and
it's
more
turned into
things.
Mirror, I think. Mirror kind of
Yeah,
took
yeah,
kind
yeah,
of
yeah, yeah,
upgraded it, I guess. They kind
yeah,
of
yeah.
took hold of it.
So there should be more support about networking officially from Unity and the services, so that uh, we can actually go into it more easily, I can say.
Do you have a lot of like interaction with your students, like one-to-one interaction with students?
I don't have a lot of one-to-one interactions, but I get questions every day. So when they watch my courses, they actually uh, put questions, and then I try to solve them. So that's the kind of interaction that I have. And on YouTube, I get comments daily. I'm not. It's not always possible to actually reply to them, but sometimes I take my time and reply to them. So that's the kind of interaction that I get. Mostly question answer type interaction.
Do you ever find yourself with like questions, like head scratching questions, like you don't know? I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. Sometimes, yeah, sometimes, and a lot of times I get to learn a lot of things, because when they ask something, I search it on the internet, and then I learn, and then I try to show them that this is how to do. And a lot of times you will see that people don't just search anything; they just come and question it.
Right.
They can search it with a simple Google search, but they don't do it.
Yeah,
So
I
this is
see
a
that.
very that's a very essential skill. You should know where you can find the answers. So everyone gets stuck. I get stuck. Even the best programmer in the world gets stuck. So the best skill is to know how we can find the answers to the questions that we have. So we should know where we can search, how we can search and get the answers, and which code we should copy, or how it should be copied, so that we can actually implement it in our project. So it is a very essential skill for all the programmers.
Right, and I think beyond just tutorials, right? So like, yeah, it'd be awesome if there was a tutorial for every single thing, but that's, I mean, how much video content can you even potentially watch, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Let
yeah,
alone be created. So they have to be able to kind of read a Stack Overflow or Unity form kind of question and problem and
yeah,
answer,
yeah, yeah.
and be able to understand that and take it apart and just take the essentials from it.
Of course, and that's a real skill. I mean, you cannot remember everything. You should know how to search the documentation. You should know how to search the internet, how to search Stack Overflow and get the answers from there. How to put in your project. So these are essentials for building your game. So even if you don't know anything, even if you don't have much of your own programming experience, you should know how to search and get those things, get the codes from here and there, and put it in your project and see how it works. So, so this is essential for all the programmers.
Right, and that's like exactly how you learn new concepts in a way. Like yeah, tutorials will teach you, but if you can go
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
just copy someone's code or portions of their code or find the exact parts to copy, then you know, okay, now this will do this. From now on, I can kind of
Absolutely,
re-implement that in a new way.
absolutely.
Do you do you make your own art, or are you like asset store kind of guy, or
Okay, so I do actually both. I, of course, I use free assets here available here and there, but then I also learned how to build my arts, and sometimes I build my arts as well. I learned Blender for 3D modeling, and then I built some simple things. So when you use Blender, you can build some low poly models for you easily. You can, if you learn it, and it's very interesting. And for 2D as well, there are many free art programs available. I love to use Inkscape, which is a vector art program, just like Adobe Illustrator. So I build my assets on Inkscape, the 2D assets,
right?
and the 3D assets I tried building using Blender. So those are the two main tools that I have used. Other than that, I also use Photoshop. But so I prefer to use a combination of both. I mean, for simple stuff, I build it on my own, and I can also take some things from online. There are many free things available online, and I use them as well.
So would you consider yourself more like logical or creative kind of person when it comes to like games, right? So like, what do you find easier, the programming or the art?
I find I'm more of a programming kind of guy, so I'm not very good at art. I I like it, but I'm not very good at it. Probably because I haven't done much of it. So mostly I have done the programming part, and the art parts. As I've said, mostly I have borrowed from here and there. And sometimes I build some things for myself, but those are very simple things.
When it comes to kind of designing your courses and creating the micro games, do you start with kind of developing a mechanic? Like, how do you start developing a mechanic or finding art or what?
Okay, so first of all, I think about the concept that I have to build, and it's a mixture. So not every time I get the art in the beginning. Sometimes I try to create a prototype with simple stuff, simple cubes and those things. Or in 2D, try to create it simply with some random sprites that I get. And then I actually enhance the arts with time. So everyone should do it. When you were starting, uh, a lot of people try to create their own character, and it takes a lot of time, and they just don't go inside the game. They just can't start building the game. It takes too much time to thinking how the character will be, how the environment will be. But first, you should go and start creating the basic mechanics. And once the basic mechanics is ready and you're happy with it, then go ahead and find some arts from here and there and try putting it in your game and see how it looks like.
Yeah, I that's actually where I'm at right now. I started my February is turn-based RPG, so like I was thinking, where do I start? Where do I start? And I started making a character, but I'm like, what's the point? I'm gonna literally not be happy with this character the entire
Yeah,
time. I
yeah,
might as well just start. I started with the turn-based combat system, which like I guess when I broke it down, I thought, okay, let me just start with the core mechanic first, because you can easily make a controller, you can easily make like a combat
yeah,
enter
yeah, yeah,
system, but I feel like the game is the fighting, right? The game is the turn-based combat, so like
yeah.
that's probably a good place to start. And yeah, with any game, I feel like, yeah, just find like, from at least in my point of view, I would find like the game, and kind of build outward from there. Do you have kind of any advice for new programmers, like where to start?
Absolutely. So if you are new and if you want to specifically go into game development with Unity, so most of the times I get questions like, should I learn C sharp before starting Unity? Should I learn C plus plus? Should I learn C or things like that? So this is what I want to say clearly. If you want to learn game development in Unity and that's your goal, you should learn Unity and C sharp together. So you don't need to learn C sharp before that, because even if you learn C sharp, after that you will see it's completely different in Unity, because Unity uses its own API. So you will not be able to you will not be able to understand what's going on. So it's better to learn Unity and C sharp for Unity side by side together, so that you can see how things are working. And if you have any experience with any programming language like C or any programming language, you will get these things very easy. So it's better to start with Unity and C sharp scripting together instead of learning C sharp before that and then coming to Unity for game development.
I think this is the new generation, right? We're all sitting on our butts. The only problem
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I've had is I have some my back kind of gets painful sometimes just from this. I need to get a better
Yeah,
chair or something.
so yeah, you need to get a better chair, and one thing you can do is every 1 hour you can simply stand up and walk for 1 or 2 minutes and then sit again. So that's the thing that everyone recommends, but I don't think anyone does that. That's something you can do to get rid of our back pain.
Yeah, so like if you have an Apple Watch, right? It reminds you. But even when if you're really into something, you be, I'll do it later, and then you forget,
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah.
been like 4 hours.
You actually notice it. You actually don't notice it until it really hurts.
Yeah,
So
I
when
know.
it really hurts, that's when you notice it. That's what happens with all of us.
Do you do any exercise like walking or yoga or anything like that?
Yeah, yeah. I go to the gym, so I love that. So in the morning I go to the gym. I started it. I'm doing it for 2 years. So I go to the gym and I love that.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure that like staying active is really important. If you want to be like sedentary or like kind of sit in this one place for a long time, you have to at least have that little bit to kind of strengthen your body and get it moving.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
absolutely. It's actually good for everyone, and the problem is that when we try to do it at our home, when we try to exercise at our home, most of the time people start as a resolution and then they forget after, let's say, 1 week or 1 month. But the environment is completely different. Everyone is working hard. Everyone is actually sweating. So there you get energy. There you get some new friends. You try to go every day. So I would recommend everyone that you should join a gym instead of trying to learn or do exercises at a home, because if you start exercising at home you will stop it after a few days. But if you go to the gym, you will have more motivation because you will see everyone going there, everyone doing that, and that's good for your health. And I would recommend all of you to actually start exercising or do some amount of physical activity. You can simply go ahead and play or walk and run or do anything, because that's essential. Because most of us are sitting in front of a computer all day, and we should have some amount of physical activity.
Exercise, like to start exercising or anything, really you just want to do the minimum effort. So like let's say your goal is to go to the gym, and that's the hard part, like, oh, I don't want to go to the gym, then just go to the gym, and then go home. If you want to go home right after that, go home. But just going to the gym every day and kind of doing the minimum is a good way to start the habit.
Yeah. That's how you start a habit. Yeah, I've read it in some place, probably in Atomic Habits, probably in the book Atomic Habits or somewhere, that if you want to build an habit, just start doing it from the bare minimum. Let's say if you want to build a habit of reading books. So what you do is you simply read one paragraph or two paragraphs, and if you start reading one or two paragraphs which seem too simple for you, but then it becomes habit when you do it for 1 week. The same way, if you want to do exercise, let's say you just do 2 or 3 push-ups, and once you do that, it becomes a habit when you do it for 3 4 days, and after that you will love it. So that's how you form habits.
Right. And I guess you can apply that to programming too. Like you have trouble.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you just one I mean, one mechanic, one line, whatever's
Yeah, you
easy
can
enough for
simply
you.
go, yeah, you can simply go ahead and find something that's fun for you, that you think fun. Let's say you want to spawn bullets, you want to learn how to spawn bullets. So these are things that are really fun when you're starting, because if you see just code, it will become boring for you. So even if you want to learn programming and not game development, I recommend a lot of people to learn programming through game development, because that becomes more interesting. And when you see things visually in front of you, it becomes very easy for you to understand and grasp the concepts.
Yeah,
So let's say
definitely.
you go there and learn a small mechanic like shooting bullets, or simply spawning enemies, or simply falling enemies, or destroying enemies. So those small mechanics, if you just go ahead and start learning with them, it will be very easy for you to get engaged to it and not get bored.
It's been a great conversation, Raja. Thank you so much for coming on. It's been about 50
Yeah,
minutes.
it was really awesome talking to you. I was really excited to talk to you, and it was really awesome discussing all these things together.
Yeah, thank you so much. I was excited to talk to you too, man. Do you have anything you'd like to kind of push or say, or
Yeah, sure. I want to say to everyone that uh, keep learning, keep building awesome things, stay healthy and happy, and start small. Keep your goals within your limit, and there are a lot of free resources available here and there. So if you think that you need to go to a school or college to learn something, that's not just true today, because you can learn everything. If you want, you can learn everything for free on the internet. That's the truth. There are many paid things available. There are many premium things available, but if you want, you can learn everything for free. Okay. So
yeah,
if you think that you don't have money, you cannot learn things because you don't have money, don't think that. You can learn everything.
it's all there. It is all there. It's just less structured.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. Check out Raja's YouTube channel, Charger Games. Subscribe to him. Watch some of his videos. It's very, very useful information. Thank you for coming, man.
Thank you.